Hello Overclockers, my name's Bryony and welcome to this week's episode of News Weekly. This is where we bring you the latest gaming and tech news. If you're enjoying the series so far, make sure to like and subscribe. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about free games, new hardware launches from AMD, news from the gaming industry and much more. So let's get started. Let's kick off the video with the gaming chapter, and there are some really great free games this week. I'll start off with a classic which is yours to keep on Steam if you claim it before the 19th of October. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was released all the way back in 1992 and it's free right now to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Sega. There's also a huge sale on other Sega titles which is well worth checking out. The next two free titles are over on the Epic Games Store, and the first one is perfect for spooky season, and it's Amnesia: A Machine for Pigs. The game is an indirect sequel to the original Amnesia: Dark Descent, which is a well-loved survival horror classic that rose to fame through Twitch streamers and YouTube Let's Plays. If you want something scary to play, it's well worth picking it up. The second game that Epic is going to be giving away is Kingdom New Lands. It's a 2D pixel game that allows you to play as different monarchs, discover new territories and obtain new mounts and meet merchants and vagrants that call these places home. There are many obstacles along the way that might threaten your survival, and even the environment itself can be a challenge. Both of these games will be free on the Epic Games Store until the 21st of October. The next story is about Watch Dogs Legion, which is due to launch on the 29th of October, and Ubisoft has recently updated the official specification requirements to include some very powerful new components. If your PC just managed to reach the threshold before, you might want to check again, as it appears the game is going to be far from easy to run. The specs table is very detailed and reveals what is needed for gaming at various settings and resolutions. If you want to experience the game with maximum eye candy at 4K, you'll need an RTX 3080, or you can turn off ray tracing and play with none other than a 2080 Ti. For 1440p, you'll need an RX 5700, RTX 2060 Super, or RTX 3070. 1080p gamers can get away with a minimum of a GTX 970 or R9 290X, and to get the best experience you'll need an RTX 2060. The minimum specifications did originally list a GTX 960, and at 4K Ultra settings there is no longer an AMD recommendation. The storage requirement is pretty modest at 45GB, but you will need an extra 20GB for the HD texture pack. You'll also need to make sure you have at least 16GB of RAM for most of the settings. In Watch Dogs Legion, you get to build a resistance and take back London, which is facing its downfall. The game is available to pre-order right now from $49.99. The next story is about Crucible, and on October the 9th, Amazon made a final developer update for the free-to-play shooter. The game was first launched in May before landing back into closed beta in July after the reviews weren't really that great and the player numbers dwindled. The developers have now made the difficult decision to cancel the game completely, and the team will now be working on Amazon's other upcoming projects, like New World, which is set to be released early next year. If you currently have access to the game, you'll still be able to play until the 9th of November, and there will be one last farewell event happening both in-game and on the official Discord in the coming weeks. Amazon is going to be offering full refunds for any purchases that players made in-game, and the Crucible team signed off with the following message. Thank you as always for being part of our community. This has been a labour of love, and we're grateful for the time we got to spend on Planet Crucible with you. Moving on to the hardware chapter of the news, I'm going to kick it all off with new product launches. I've got two for you this week, and both of them have crazy names. The first one is Alpenföhn Gletscherwasser all-in-one cooler. I'm gonna have to Google that.
Do that.
Alpenföhn Gletscherwasser.
Alpenföhn Gletscherwasser.
Alpenföhn Gletscherwasser.
Alpenföhn Gletscherwasser. I think I got it. are 4 different models available of the Alpenföhn Gletscherwasser, the 240, 240 high speed, 360 and 360 high speed. These premium coolers are made in collaboration with Debauer and come with addressable RGB lighting.
You got completely wrong. You're like Stephen something. Like what? Oh my god.
Oh dear. There are 4 different models available of the Alpenföhn Gletscherwasser, the 240, 240 high speed, 360 and 360 high speed. These premium coolers are made in collaboration with Debauer and come with addressable RGB lighting, premium wing boost fans and thermal grizzly hydronaut for superior performance and silent operation. Both the pump and the radiator are high quality with a large surface area to disperse heat quickly. The high-speed version of the cooler has more powerful Wing Boost 3 high-speed fans which can spin up to 2,550 RPM. You can customize the pump unit with your own logo and there are 16.8 million RGB colors to choose from, so your CPU can stay cool and look great at the same time. The Alpenföhn Gletscherwasser is compatible with the most popular sockets and pricing starts at just $149.99. The next product release I cannot believe the name of, but it's back. It's the Kolink Big Chungus Unit Edition. This new edition has some upgrades over the original design with improvements to the fans and the stand design. It is a massive full tower showcase that's perfect for crazy custom water-cooled builds, and the main features are the beautiful tempered glass side panels, high quality aluminium construction, pre-installed ARGB fans and LED strips, included RGB fan controller with remote control, and a great amount of compatibility for high-end hardware. This chunky boy can be yours for $219.95 and you'll have the pleasure of owning your very own Big Chungus. The next story I mentioned in the news last week, and it's that Lisa Su took to the stage to announce the latest Zen 3 processors. We now have all the latest information on the launch and AMD revealed a great amount of information. There will be 4 Ryzen 5000 processors available from November the 5th. All of the processors slot neatly into the Ryzen lineup, with each providing a jump in performance over Ryzen 3000 thanks to a new higher boost clock speed and Zen 3 architecture, which means more IPC. AMD demonstrated this performance increase with game benchmarks, Cinebench and results from creative tasks such as video editing and rendering. The 19% boost to IPC means Ryzen can now beat out Intel's 10900K when it comes to single core performance, which makes them incredible for gaming. The lineup includes the $289.99 Ryzen 5 5600X all the way up to the $749.99 Ryzen 9 5950X. The Ryzen 9 5900X comes in at $529.99 and the Ryzen 7 5800X at $428.99. These processors are all AM4 compatible, so they'll work with 500 series motherboards with a simple BIOS update straight away, with support for the 400 series coming in January next year. All these processors are currently listed at Overclockers UK, and you can learn more in our Ryzen 5000 blog post. The final story is also from AMD, and during AMD's presentation we also got a little sneak peek of the performance that can be expected from Big Navi, all before the full announcement on October the 28th. The performance was impressive, and we saw that the most powerful AMD Big Navi is capable of keeping up with an RTX 3080 in games such as Borderlands 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Gears of War 5. It was getting an incredible 60 FPS and above, even at 4K resolution, which means there's going to be plenty of competition in the graphics section later this year. AMD didn't reveal much else when it comes to the hardware side of things, so we'll have to wait until the end of the month to hear more about the ray tracing capabilities, pricing and availability. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Overclockers News Weekly. If you haven't already, hit like and subscribe, why not? What was it? If you haven't
already, what are you waiting for?
If you haven't already, what are you waiting for? So why not?
Take 67.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of Overclockers News Weekly. If you haven't already,
Oh, do you want to change the
if you
line?
haven't already, like and subscribe. What are you waiting for? If you haven't already, like and subscribe. What are you waiting for? Okay. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Overclockers News Weekly. If you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Like and subscribe. Don't forget to press the bell icon so you don't miss next week's episode. I'll see you soon.
Yeah!